What's going on, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard at Graybeard Gaming Group. Today is Friday, October 23rd, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. Today we're going to be showing you how to get Ridgways' Pride. That is a new exotic chess piece locked behind the summit. Now, there were some changes that were made between Title Update 11 and 11.1, so we want to go over all the details today. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. So a quick recap for those of you who may not know. In order to get Ridgways' Pride, not only do you need to complete floor 100 of the summit, but you need to collect 5 exotic components that you'll find from going from the bottom of the summit to the top. Now, one of the changes that was made with 11.1 was that now none of these components are locked behind difficulty. You can choose any difficulty you want. They are, however, locked behind floors, and they're in 20 floor increments. You will be able to find the body armor between floors 1 through 20, the shoulder pads between 20 and 40, the hunting knife between 40 and 60, the flag patch between 60 and 80, and the dog tags between 80 and 100. Next, we want to talk about how you actually get these components. So the breakdown is this. Every 3 floors, you can find a summit key, and you will also find a summit cache, which may have the components in it. So the caches are pretty easy to find because you will always find them right before your next checkpoint, which is always by the elevator. So let's say if you clear floor 3, you're about to go up to the next spot, look for a room by the elevator that has a lock on it, and it will usually be in there. I mean, there are a few floors where it's actually just sitting by the elevator itself, but again, do not take the elevator up until you've actually gotten a cache, because once you go up a floor, you cannot go back down. The access keys, however, are a little bit trickier. Now, before they used to show up on your map, that doesn't happen anymore. There is a slight sound that, the game makes when you're close to a key, but you have to keep a lookout. Next, I just want to show you really quick what the key looks like when you're looking for it. It is a yellow, icon. I think it's just rolling up right here. This is what the key looks like. You always want to keep a lookout. And now I'm just going to show you where I was able to find the components themselves. So you can see here, I'm on floor 3, I'm right before the elevator, I'm opening up this door, and when I open up this cache, you'll see the first component that I got. And a few quick things as we move on, I was able to find the first 3 components before 11.1, so the floors may look a little different. The other thing too is that on your first way through, you might not get the components you're looking for. Therefore, it's really important to make sure you check your inventory and look to see which components you already have. So let's say if you need the hunting knife, but you've already gone through the whole summit and you haven't found it as yet. Now, the hunting knife can only be found on floors 40 through 60, so that means you have to make your way back up to floor 40, and you have to then try between 40 and 60 to hopefully find the component. Now, the good news is that they have increased the drop rate for these components, and I can speak from experience where, when it was Title Update 11, I was able to find the first 3 keys, but the 4th and 5th, I had no luck finding. However, with Title Update 11.1, I was able to get the 2 missing components that I needed my first way through. All I did is set the summit to normal and just rip through all the floors and got to where I needed to be. And remember that these caches are found every 3 floors, so you have 6 attempts in that 20 floor span in order to actually get the component. Now, the odds should be over 20%, so no matter what, you should be getting it. And one thing I love is the fact that, like I said a moment ago, this was just on normal difficulty. So you can actually get through this pretty quickly so you can get the stuff you need to do, because once you get to the top of the summit and complete a few other things, then there's actually more of a quest that you have to complete. Now, most of you know at this point, when you reach the top of the summit, you get to the observation deck. There are 2 hunters you have to defeat. Now, there are only 2 hunters if you're playing solo, which is what I chose to do to try to get through it as quickly as possible. A few quick tips. First of all, like I said, this is on normal difficulty, but all I did is I ran into the room. Once I saw them spawn, I ran back out. I had my Nemesis equipped, and you can pretty much one-shot these guys, and it's not that difficult. Now, if you happen to die, don't stress out because you will go back to the beginning of floor 100, which is right outside this door. You do have to defeat some other NPCs before you get back here, but again, you should be able to do it pretty easily. And understand when I say that, it's all relative. Obviously, if you're doing legendary, it's not going to be easy, but I wanted to get through this phase of the quest quickly, so I chose to do this on normal difficulty. Next thing I'll do is just cut to having defeated the second hunter. We'll take a shot right here, take him out. Again, this is on normal difficulty. It's not some crazy build. It's just, basic nemesis and just try to aim for the head. Now, as we look at the loot, one important thing is that one of the hunters should drop a 0F's chest piece. You need to hang on to that because that is required to get to the next phase of the quest. So do not make the mistake like I did and break it down without looking. You'll see here in the project that you need to donate a piece of armor that has perfectly unbreakable, so in my case, I had to refarm to try to find a piece that had that talent. Now you can see you had to donate a weapon with the sadist talent, you also had to donate an exotic component, and now when you donate the chest piece, you'll see that the last part of the quest pop-ups on the screen, and this one is a bit of a grind. Actually, the whole quest is a grind, but I don't mind it because I know at the end I'm going to get the exotic chest piece that I want. So the first thing you'll do here is you will donate all these faction keys to the project. Now, I was lucky enough to have a lot of them in my stash. If you don't, I recommend doing bounties or control points because that's where you will find named enemies, which is also part of being able to get through all of the objectives. Now, if you can, I recommend doing heroic control points for a few reasons. One, you will always face 2 named enemies there, and 2, there's a better chance for rogue agents to spawn, which is also part of the project. However, you can do this on any difficulty, so if you want to do it on normal difficulty, all you do is bounties. When you run out of bounties, on a daily basis, if you want to try to get this done, just matchmake for other bounties, get into a group, and each named boss drops a key. So that way, you're not only taking out the named bosses for each faction, you're also getting keys if you're short, so that way you're getting 2 of the steps done with one thing, and again, you can do it on any difficulty that's enjoyable for you. Now, during your attempt to take out the 3 named enemies for each faction, hopefully you will run into some rogue agents. I've had the best luck at control points, so that's where I would recommend to look. The final step, my friends, is once you've taken out all the named enemies for the factions, donated the keys, taken out rogue agents, the last thing is you have to neutralize 2 hunters back at the top of the summit in order to complete the project. Of course, that does mean you need to start at floor 1 and work your way to the top. However, you can use matchmaking and hopefully you put with a group that's higher up than you are, and then you can continue from there. And keep in mind, you can do these things in any order you choose, but once they're all done, you go to your crafting bench, you see you can finally craft Ridgways Pride, you do so, and then, yeah, you're good to go. And with that, my friends, I think we're going to wrap up this video. I want to once again thank you all for the continued support. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll try to get to them as quickly as I can. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you happen to be new here, hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. But most importantly, take care, be kind, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.